What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Juice, man.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Look at us.
Man.
Just look at us.
You know, we wanted to do an episode with a guest this week. So we're gonna
we did two in a row, just kind of getting back in the rhythm.
Yep.
Make sure we still knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Make sure all the equipment worked before we wasted somebody's time, called a guest.
Yeah.
We may have a guest.
Correct. But we are gonna come on here because I'm about to leave for the Brown and Belt Fishing Championship on Choke Canyon. I'll leave that for that this weekend. And when I'm gone, Shane's gonna be leaving for the Bassmaster Open on
Watts
Bar. So we're going to 2 grinders.
Ugh.
We are heading out for 2 grinders. I'm fishing for a share of $100,000, and Shane's fishing for a classic and
berth
and money too. So we're going to fish some grinders, and so we decided to do this before we leave. Which, you know, as y'all know, we're not good at doing stuff like that. So we're actually using our head now, trying to get some.
Is this a record?
This is a record.
Is it? Are we gonna post 3 weeks in a row?
If we posted one already this week.
Yeah. So I'll
so next
post
week.
this.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 in a row.
And we're gonna try while I'm at Choke Canyon. We might have a special guest on over there. We're gonna maybe try to depending on how service is over there and stuff. We're gonna try to maybe do like a Zoom call and do a podcast from there too.
Yeah, we'll see if we can figure that out. I mean,
the guest we want is gonna be there. So
yeah. Well, one of them. We've had a couple ideas for the guest for this episode. I don't think anybody's gonna be shocked about our topic. We've actually been talking about this topic before, probably for the last year or two, and now it's kind of really heated up.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you know, I'm sure a lot of y'all know we're referring to the forward-facing sonar topic, and it's just like it blew up again, man, out of nowhere. And I was just telling Shane before this, I was like, I don't even know what to tell these guys what my opinion is, because honestly, like, I don't really care. Like, it's not that I don't care. It's more of like I'm tired of hearing about it, man. I thought we were done. Like, I thought the forward-facing sonar thing was done. I thought this was an uproar like 2 years ago.
So what do we think kicked this off? So the Elites just wrapped up. I mean, I think that's kind of what kicked it off.
The Northern Swing? Absolutely. Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, but, dude, last year.
Season recaps and people are like.
Well, what was last year not dominated by forward-facing sonar? Was the year before that not dominated by forward-facing sonar when it comes to Northern Swings? Like, we know when it comes to smallmouth and forward-facing sonar that they're going to thrash them doing it.
Yeah.
We've known that, though. It ain't like it's another surprise. Maybe it's like guys are finally getting tired of it.
So who's getting tired of it, though?
Certain guys, I guess.
Guys that aren't doing well?
That's probably some. Probably some. I'm not saying that, you know, what's crazy is, like, you still got, like every time they go north, like, John Cox is catching them.
Yeah.
He's catching them.
Doesn't he still run a Foretrex? He don't even have spot lock.
I don't know, dude.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't even
I don't think he's out there scoping them.
No, he's not out there scoping them.
So,
I'm pretty sure the man runs a Foretrex. Like Brian Thrift, how long did he run a Foretrex for? Forever.
Yeah, forever. Smoking cigs and Fortrexing, dude.
Yeah, burn them down, dude.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about it, really. I don't know that's only necessarily guys that are not catching them with the technology. I think there's guys that maybe even have a weird opinion on it that still use the technology and catch them with it as well.
Sure, they feel like they're doing it and they're doing good or decent at it, and maybe they don't like it. They don't like fishing that way.
You know, I think some of the times that, and you've mentioned this a lot about other things in the industry, is like that old guard kind of. Maybe they're thinking that it's taken away from the tradition or the heritage almost of the sport. And it's kind of, you know, you made a good, me and you were talking this other day, and it's kind of like you made a good comparison to golf. Like, you know, their clubs has came a long ways. Like, technology has came a long ways in every sport. Every sport.
Were they driving it 350 yards off the tee 20 years ago?
No.
Not
with wooden clubs.
Well, they weren't wooden back then.
Whatever they are.
Steel or whatever. Yeah, but technology changes at
Did they not have wooden heads? The clubs?
Not 20 years ago.
No, I ain't talking about 20. I'm talking about like back in the gap.
Yeah, back then. Yeah. But no, any professional sport, the highest level of the sport, they're going to have the best of the best of equipment.
Technology has made advancements in every single sport. That's that's a fact. Football, but every major sport. Now, This one's, I think the controversy is really surrounding this one because of what it is, like what it's actually showing you. This one's, I will admit that forward-facing sonar is showing you a lot, but I'll never sit here and admit that it's, just you get it, it's plug and play, it's easy. No way, dude. I'm not ever gonna. It's tough. It's difficult,
and I think it's getting tougher.
100%. They're getting pressured.
They're getting chased around. They're seeing baits. These fish are, especially if you're out there chasing the roaming, like nomadic fish. They're just out there doing their thing that would have never otherwise been fished for. I think
pelagics.
I think you and I use it in a different application than most what people would consider traditional scopers.
Yes,
I'm always watching it.
100%. Because you never know what it's about to show you.
Yeah, and we've how many times in the last couple of years since we've had it that we've caught what I would consider maybe not even bonus fish, but fish that we wouldn't have caught without it, but they weren't necessarily scope fish.
Couple of key fish when I look back at some of the times we've had together.
I mean, we're talking like fish that are on bottom that are not suspended. That
right.
Do you see that? Look at those three roaming on bottom. Bam, we throw a crankbait or something over there and catch one.
And me and you kind of talked about this a little before the show. I know guys, that solely depend on it. There is no doubt. Like, they go to spawning events. I fished against a couple guys this year that did it in the middle of the spawn, and they're scoping in the event. Like that they're going out there and they're spending all their practice time with it. They're going to fish the tournament doing it. I've never used it that way. I've never been able to when I say fully commit, I mean the entire tournament day that you have, you literally scope. Now, if I was up north or something on Lake Champlain or something like that, that might change. But I think some guys lean on it heavy, and they have success with it. I'll be honest.
There's definitely a new class of fishermen.
100%. 100%
dominating with forward-facing sonar. Now, there were some comments thrown out there by some veterans of the sport that these guys maybe don't belong. Without it, they wouldn't succeed. And whether that's true or not,
golly, I didn't hear that.
I don't want to name names, but
that's throwing shots.
Yeah, that was.
So you're saying they're saying take away forward-facing sonar. Let's see what this kid can do. Basically,
that wouldn't even said in that nice of a way. It was there are people on the elites who, without forward-facing sonar, would not be here.
Oh wow, not even belong.
Yes.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa.
Whew, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, I'm sure those of you who kind of stay in tune to this probably know who I'm talking about.
I mean, just off the top of my head,
it's a bold stance to take.
But no, I mean,
but so here's what I'm gonna say to that: everybody has the opportunity to have it. You're gonna tell me there is not an elite boat out there in that field. I shouldn't say that. We just talked about John Cox, but every single one of those guys can have.
Yeah,
and probably does have, for the most part, a forward-facing sonar. Now, some have sponsors that, are with Johnson Outdoors, and they're running Humminbird Minn Kota products, and they're using Mega Live. Some are Lowrance guys using Active Target.
Yeah,
some are Garmin with LiveScope. But they all have the technology. So I can't say that there's an unfair advantage out there.
No,
everybody's got it, and if you're competing at the highest level, you better have the best technology.
Oh, I'm all in on that. Yeah.
You're not going to see me out there without it.
No. But no. And I'm gonna try to use it at certain fisheries and certain times of the year. 100%.
Yeah. So if you take these guys that are just really, really talented with forward-facing sonar and you take it away from them, are they going to be able to compete with some of the guys that? Like this angler was his argument was, well, I've got 40 plus years of knowledge that it's taken me time on the water to acquire, and now this guy gets to plug this technology in and go out there and roam around and kick my behind. So if he didn't have it, would he beat him? I don't think it matters.
I mean,
guess what? They all got it.
You're right. Whether that's true or not, it does not matter because everybody is allowed to use it and everybody does have it and everybody is using it, especially at that level. They know better than not to have it,
Yeah,
No, you're right, though. Whether that's a true or false statement,
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No, you are right.
You had the opportunity to learn it just as fast as he did.
Yeah, and man, I thought we were done with the forward-facing sonar thing.
So let me throw another variable out here. Maybe it's the learning curve is totally different now for fishing. Like younger guys coming out of high school and college can learn way faster than they could 20 years ago, pre-YouTube days. Take YouTube, for example. I mean, not even forward-facing sonar, just the information that's 100%. Out there that's available to watch.
Yep.
If you're into it and this is what you want to do, there is so much knowledge you can just absorb.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are taking that away from maybe some of the younger guys that are doing well, even with forward-facing sonar. It's like, man, you don't, like, they didn't just start doing it and get good with it right away, just like maybe some of the older generation that's using it and they're not getting good with it right away. Like, it takes time, and because there's so much information out there, nothing's really hidden anymore.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch a live stream. They're archived of any Bassmaster, well, recent years, Bassmaster Elite Series events on all these different fisheries, watching all these different techniques. They can't hide it anymore, dude. Like, they're going to do what they need to do on tournament day. So, man, the techniques are being shown, and, you know, young or old, that information is available to everyone. So you can go out there and do that. If you really wanted to hone your craft and you're that worried about it, then, yeah, I think the information is available and you can go out there and work. And I think that's what a lot of these, you know, even younger guys that are good with it are doing. I think they're working pretty hard with it and figuring things out for, you know, by watching some of these videos and on their own when they're on the water. Like, you know, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, but you can do that whether you're young, old, or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's the point we're trying to make is the opportunity is there for everyone.
Yes.
At every level.
You know, and there's some guys, though, like John Cox, that are like, whatever, I'm not going to do it. That's not me. I'm going to do my thing. And it seems like the guys that are focused on that more than they're worried about what's going on are doing still well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, he's next level, though, for sure.
100%. He's the exception. 100%.
And there's more than one exception. I mean, there's lots of guys that are that have done really well that probably don't focus on it.
No doubt. But you look at the well-rounded guys who I think that, I mean, when I look at the top, that's who I see.
Yeah, you definitely need to be versatile and
like, look at BP, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Polnick is the epitome of versatile. And is he good forward-facing sonar? Yeah. But his northern swing wasn't great.
No.
But he was at was it Lay Lake? When he almost won?
Yeah.
He had a dead fish penalty that cost him the win, I think.
Yes.
Throwing a drop shot on grass. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
like, I had heard there was other elites that tried to make that area work where he was at and they just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, he figured that out on his own.
No, he did. And without forward facing sonar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he might have scoped one or two.
Christie almost won it too.
Yeah, he lost a giant on a frog.
He lost the winning fish.
Yeah, he did.
That's probably the most painful clip.
But he caught a giant. He caught the biggest fish of the year. I think it weighed
it was big fish of the year. Lay Lake of all places. Lay Lake.
And I know that's kind of a spawning event or whatever, and it's kind of a shallow water fishery. But that's my point, man. Like, those well-rounded, you know, versatile guys, I think, are still at the top.
Yeah, I think it's I'm not going to go as far as saying it's a crutch to stand on as far as somebody not having the greatest season that they wanted to. Maybe some guys are expressing frustration that they're not learning it as fast as what they feel is the younger crowd. I know there's been some talks about, you know, the elites having this is the youngest elite field. Their average age of an elite it's younger than it's ever been.
Whether it's the elites or not, it's the youngest, and it is the biggest influx of young anglers we have ever seen in the sport in general.
I don't think that's got anything to do with forward-facing sonar. I just think fishing's bigger than ever. I mean, it's college fishing, it's high school fishing.
You're right, but the success rate may be a little. I mean, because they're willing to fish for fish that aren't fished for.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know. It's hard because, you know, I go back and I look at the Toyota Series Championship on Guntersville from last year, and that was a really young top 10. And a lot of them were scoping. You know, Kyle Hall won the event.
He's one of the best scopers.
You know, Drew Gill was up there.
Yep.
it definitely has helped some guys that are willing to use it and put forth the effort and time to be efficient with it.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't help them because it has.
No, for sure. There's definitely.
It's changed the game.
Oh,
period.
Yeah.
But for that reason, since we all know that, and it's undeniable fact that it's changed the game. When I look at that, I don't think, oh well, that's dumb, that's stupid. We need to get rid of it. Rather than,
what's your favorite way to catch bass?
When I look at it, like, well, hey, if that's changing the game, and I want to be a part of this game, I better get good with it.
What's your favorite way to catch bass?
Me?
Yeah,
dude, I don't know, a lot of ways. I like cranking a lot though.
I do too. I probably would pick a deep plug.
Yeah, deep plugs.
But am I gonna keep it in my hand year round because that's what I like to do? No, I'm not saying that's what these guys are doing. But so Swindle posted a video, and I think he was just trying to get a poll, right?
Yeah, that definitely kick-started up.
That was one of them. There's been multiple videos out there, but this is the one that really kind of got it rolling. And I don't think he really gave an opinion either way. He was just asking the fans.
He said
he wasn't asking. He said, I'm not asking the hardcore. I'm not asking the hardcore anglers.
Yep.
I'm asking the fans that watch the sport, that are fans of it, watch live, watch whatever, whether it's BPT, whether it's elites, whatever it is.
Asking the fans.
Do you find it boring? And it kind of, I think mob mentality kind of took over that one because it was overwhelmingly no, and that it is boring. I mean,
and it was a really negative result.
Yeah, and there was a lot of negative comments, and I think I find when stuff like that starts to snowball in one direction, a lot of people are the people that maybe don't feel that way are either not going to jump in or they're going to say they're going to go with the mob mentality and go with that. But it brought up an interesting subject, and now that's kind of going around too, not just about forward-facing sonar. And so I got a thought on that, and it's not that it's forward-facing sonar is boring to watch. Maybe live bass fishing is just boring to watch. Yeah, I know that's kind of a bold stance, but
there's so many ways to think about this.
But is it any less boring to watch a guy drag a Texas rig? So take live, for example. We've all watched live. Most of us have. When you're on live, the guy's got his back turned to you either way. Whether he's looking down, looking forward, looking left, looking right, his back is turned to you. Cameraman's in the back of the boat, facing forward. Whether the guy is chunking a big plug at a point or dragging a Texas rig through a brush pile or making a cast at a fish he sees on live scope, is one more or less boring than the other? Or maybe the harsh reality is we need to look at how do we make live fishing more entertaining. What can we do as a sport to make it more entertaining? Because maybe it's just boring to watch live fishing.
I agree all that to a certain extent. This is what I'll say. I'll say that I think you're right on some of those votes for definitely mob mentality, but I think it's been known for a while that a lot of the fans are not happy watching people scope around on live. They don't enjoy it. I think a lot of those votes were honestly probably their actual opinions. I know I've heard a lot of opinions that they're, hey man, I watch live and I tune in and they're live scoping and stuff and I'm just looking at their back and I don't enjoy it. So I think that opinion was probably decently accurate. I think there's a really negative outlook on that. But this is what I'll say. A lot of those comments, if you take the time to read some of them, a lot of those comments can be turned from a negative to a positive by the simple change of showing what they're looking at on the screen on their live scope. Show it on the live, which they have done with Gussie in the Classic.
Yeah, that was cool.
People have they did it with Cody Huff at Champlain. I think you fix a lot of those negatives if you find a way to do that efficiently. And now I'm not saying it's going to be easy on Bass's side or MLF's side, but I think if you show what they're looking at on the screen, I think that fixes a lot of the negative kind of quickly there. It makes it a little more entertaining. Some of you guys are going to be like, no, that's still not entertaining to me. Okay. We're not always going to please everyone. No. So you have to go in knowing that. But I think if you do that, that fixes a lot. And I have to say that a lot of the fans would probably think that live is a little more entertaining like when the BPT went to Saginaw Bay and them guys were cracking them on frogs and swim jigs on a straight braid.
Flipping reeds and stuff.
I think that a lot of people would say that that's more entertaining, but that's not always going to be the case. You know, the guy that ended up winning Saginaw was Matt Becker, who was scoping out there in rough waves.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with what you said as well. I think that bass fishing live is just only so entertaining to a point, depending on, you know, where they're at. And I have to agree with that. I think you're right. When you brought up that point to me, I was like, yeah, well, you actually may be right, because when I look at it from me, I don't watch that much live.
No, it's hard, especially go to a tough fishery like the Lay Lake event was. You know, there was not a lot of fish catches, but
yeah.
Speaking of fish catches, I'd like to know the stats. I'd like to see if Ronnie Moore would come on and give us some stats, because I'd like to know
how many people are tuning into live.
No. How many fish catches pre-live scope were on a live event versus? I mean, it's gonna be hard to compare, right? Because you need go to the same lakes, right? You need to look at the same.
Yeah,
lake.
that'd be some hard.
The St. Lawrence.
A lot of work to figure that out.
Ronnie's a numbers guy, man. I bet he's got it. I bet he's already got it. He's probably got it memorized too. The St. Lawrence live event, I heard some people say, man, it was boring watching guys live scope. I was like, for me, I was glued to it because I know what's in that place, and I know the guys that are doing it so well. When they make a cast, they're throwing at what they feel like is going to be a big fish.
Right.
So there was some anticipation and excitement, and he even said, he's like, I don't even throw at that one. That one looks like a little one.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, here comes a good one. And they throw at it. And then there's kind of a little heightened anticipation for a second. Does he hook up? Bam, he hooks up. Okay, some of the fights go a little long, but
yeah.
But that's what smallmouth do. They fight hard. But so if you just compare it to what we used to get, I remember the old Bassmaster TV show when it came out before they did live. So an event would happen, and you could maybe watch a little live on their website. It was kind of new. It was kind of happening. It wasn't great. There was always kind of service issues, cell tower issues. It wasn't the best, and it's gotten way better. But basically what we got after the event, a month after the event, was a 45-minute show, which was basically a highlight reel, and it was entertaining. Mm-hmm. It was the tournament condensed into a 45-minute, 1-hour show. You watch it, and you get to see all the best fish catches. And so now when we watch live, are we comparing it to that? You're not going to get that.
Yeah, well, that's what I told you about live. For me personally, I just go back and watch the highlights of live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
you know, and you're right. I think a lot of these factors are what people really aren't thinking about. They automatically just jump to.
It's forward-facing sonar's fault.
It's forward-facing sonar's fault. That's the reason I'm not happy watching live. Well, have you tried watching live when it wasn't around and were you entertained then kind of deal? I mean,
yeah.
And if that's the case, you know, that goes back to the question of how do you entertain people online?
I think you have good ideas there. Like when they had Gussie's screen up on live, and you could see his bait, and you can see the fish come off the bottom and eat it. I mean, you're involving the viewer a lot better. I think that could be really, really interesting. Maybe it's going to take a little coaching on the angler's part to be a little more interactive.
Yeah,
look at it. Look at a guy like Iaconelli. He's
entertaining.
He's entertaining to watch
because he's wild.
And he not only can he catch him, but he's entertaining to watch. So
that's true.
Maybe there's a little more as professional anglers.
Yeah.
There's more to being.
Well, I think that's a lot of the reason MLF tried what they tried was purely for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Every fish counts. They tried to make it more active on live. I mean, that's That's why they did. That's kind of was the whole goal, to make it a little more entertaining.
No, like watching a dude culling a cull of fish. That's so boring. I can't stand when they sit there and film a guy culling fish. But no, it is hard to watch, even for me, who's I'm like diehard into this. This is what we live to do. This is what we're trying to do for a living. So there's little things that I watch in there that I'm kind of looking for, the little techniques and stuff. And that's maybe another thing that I think is bugging people, and they're not really sure how to focus that energy on what's making them upset, and that's finesse techniques. Maybe it's a little bit of that too.
They don't like the way they're catching them.
Yeah. They don't like the spinning rods.
Really, yeah.
Maybe that's part of it too. I mean, who doesn't love a slackline hook set and a boat flip?
Maybe
awesome.
Maybe some of the reality is that these fish just don't operate like they used to. Maybe the reality is these fish have been so pressured in some of these traditional techniques and traditional ways that it's come to a point where finesse tactics, I mean, there is no denying that finesse techniques are more popular now than they've ever thought about being. And forward-facing sonar is a big
that's a big reason for
that. But I mean, I look at just Rayburn, dude. And I know Rayburn's a very pressured fishery. But you look at this place and what it was to what it is, it's not even in the ballpark. There is no more flipping hydrolin 20-foot flats.
No.
Okay, with a big stick. That was cool, dude. That would have been amazing. I wish it was still I wish we still had that option. But even when I started fishing it really hard, like in 2018, it ain't the same. Like the fish just don't operate the same. I think it's pressure, and I think that's why you see a lot of these more finesse guys doing well. I'm not talking about just on Rayburn. Look at how Jacob Wheeler won Gunnersville. He didn't necessarily scope over one of those fish. What a lot of people don't understand is like he wasn't actually looking at every one of those. He was actually just using that technique in schools on bottom, not necessarily looking at them.
Yeah. No, that's another thing. Like these guys that are not comfortable with finesse techniques, man. If you don't become more versatile,
I was not at all. Dude, you know me. Like this time last year, I didn't like picking up a spinning rod. No. Now it's like honestly, I love it. I think it's fun.
I enjoy it.
I enjoy that.
I like fighting them on light.
I've got some big fish on an 1/8 head.
Yeah, don't give them everything. Man.
Well, I'm just saying.
Don't give them the.
I'm just saying. There's things that are there's good benefits to it as well. I would like to if they did take it away, like what would live look like then? How bad would the weights drop?
The fish catches would go down. Yeah. The weights would go down.
Bad.
That's what I was saying, man. I made a little comment on somebody's post. Like, I didn't find it boring to watch 4 guys catch 100 pounds of bass, 100 pounds of smallmouth.
And Patrick Walters broke the record again.
100 pounds of smallmouth, something that nobody ever thought would be possible.
I don't remember Jay Shakurit's record from last year, but he broke it.
Like I don't remember 101, 102.
Yeah,
Corey caught 102 last year.
105.
So there's 6 century belts that are smallmouth now.
Yeah, unheard of.
Crazy. That would not have happened without forward-facing sonar.
There was a study done. I actually watched Hallman's YouTube channel the other day, and he took the study, I think that Jody did from MLF, of the Toyota Series Championship top 10 finishers all the way back from like a while ago. We're talking like 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a maybe even before that. However long it was, not the Toyota Series Championship, but it's been the same thing. Whether that was the Costa Series Championship, and then before that was a Rayovac, before that was a Redman, whatever. The championship of the top 10 anglers, what their average age was, dude. Like when it first when his statistics first started, whether that was early 2000s or late 90s, whenever it started, I think it was early 2000s, 06, 07, somewhere around there. You can go look up on Hallman's channel. It's pretty good video. It's got quite a few views. Obviously, a lot of people find it interesting. But the average age of the top 10 back then was like 65 years old.
What?
And then as the years progressed, as technology progressed, it slowly started dropping. Little by little. Then it was like by mid-2000s, it was in the 50s. Then now, this past Toyota Series Championship, it was like the average age of like 25. Drastic.
Is that just because there's more young people involved now?
Yes. I think a
that
lot.
Was
No, but technology helped. Technology helped. We got to be honest on that. Whether I'm biased or whatever, I think technology helped cut the growth curve. Okay, but I think also what helped is what Bradley Hallman also said in his video was what helped is the amount of information that was accessible to all these guys, and that doesn't, like I said earlier, doesn't just include young anglers. That information is accessible to everyone, but I think that helped because the younger guys, when they're coming in, they're just hungry, and they want it, and so I think they do more research and stuff like that, trying to get better. Yeah. And I think also why you saw that decreasing average age in the top 10 finishers. We're talking about, and that's a pretty cool stat because we're talking about top 10 finishers from different regions of the United States going to a certain place, right?
Yeah.
Man, I forgot what I was going with right there. It was really important too.
Apparently.
Oh, the popularity of the sport. So I think the popularity of the sport through the years has drawn in. Like, dude, it didn't used to be the coolest thing in the world back in the day. But as it's progressed and more popularity has grown around it, now younger guys are wanting to get in it. The introduction of high school fishing obviously made that age go down. The introduction of college fishing, obviously. All those factors are making that younger guy get into it a little bit quicker. Because now you're seeing stuff that like was unheard of. You're seeing 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds at the opens level. You're seeing 18-year-olds at the invitational level. Like, that did not happen.
Well, and the organizations themselves, MLF and Bass, they're really, really, really trying. That's what they want. They want that model.
They want
the
high school, college.
Just like
Opens
football,
elite.
basketball, baseball, they want the kids to go fish for a college team and then transfer into the professional level. I mean, so yeah, that's how they're trying to carve out a path for those young anglers to make it to the professionals. I mean, that's it's just, like look at college football or college baseball. That's how you do it. If you want to go pro, you go play for a college.
Yeah.
And then you get scouted and drafted. I
mean,
mean,
football for sure, not necessarily baseball. You can go straight to the league now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
They're trying to carve out that path, so they are trying to draw in the younger anglers, not just,
The question
everybody.
Wraps back around, is this all of this stuff that we're talking about, whether it's, because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of the opinions are going to put all this stuff that we're talking about and they're going to blame it on one sole thing, and that's forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, I think
that's got to be the new arise that we're seeing here, because forward-facing sonar has been out too long now, and we've been having this discussion too long. So what is the sudden arise about it now? Is it because there's younger guys doing well? Because I really feel like that has a big factor in this.
Dang.
Like, what is the new arise, dude? Because I don't understand. Dude, people have been complaining about this since it first came out. Why is there
first people were complaining about it because it's expensive, and now the cost, there's
people still complain about that, but yeah.
Yeah, but everything's more expensive now. So,
but what I'm saying is everything that we just talked about, they're going to solely blame forward-facing sonar, even though I feel like we gave it several legitimate reasons to why all this stuff is actually happening.
The fishing industry is changing.
It's changing, and all these factors are revolving around it. It's not just forward-facing sonar, and I think everybody just wants to point the finger at it because I think they want to get rid of it.
Scapegoat. They're using the scapegoat.
I think they want to get rid of it.
All right, so that brings us to the next little bullet point here.
Are they going to get rid of it?
My opinion, absolutely not.
No. Okay. But I'm going to tell you what they're going to do.
All right, let's hear it.
They're going to limit it. They're going to limit it.
I could see that.
And they're not going to limit to where you can use it, how you can use it. They're going to limit you to only have one transducer. This is my thought, and I told you this earlier. I think Bass, MLF, whoever, they're going to calm down some of this chatter and negativity. What they can do is be like, okay, well, as an organization, we decided to only allow you to use one transducer for forward-facing sonar. Well, for the majority of guys, that's already what we do anyways. Now, there's multiple guys that do run multiple transducers for different reasons, but for the majority of the field, they're only running one transducer. So is that really doing anything? Not really, but the organization taking a step, doing something like that makes it seem like they're listening. I think that may and that probably won't even happen. But if something happens, it's probably going to be that, and you're going to see them finding a way to put that, what these anglers are looking at on the screen, put it on live stream, and I think for those two things alone, it will bring a lot more positivity to it rather than negativity, and you're gonna and then you'll
so let me give you the angle from the organizations, right? So let's look at the companies that make this technology, right?
Mm-hmm. Big sponsors of the industry.
They spend, I don't know, I'm going to say millions developing this technology. Right?
Yeah.
They spend a lot of money developing it and promoting it and pushing it so that people will buy it.
Yeah.
Right? And they've invested a lot of time and money into that. And they sponsor these organizations.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to continue to sponsor organizations that are limiting the use of their products?
Well, I can tell you
Why would they?
I can tell you this. If they if they lose those sponsor dollars are already really thin in the industry, and the non-endemics are already not there anymore, like Walmart and stuff. Like, I don't think the fishing industry from a tournament organization can take blows like that at this point.
So if you're the head cheese of MLF, right?
Yeah.
Your boy Duckett, and you say, okay, we're gonna change the rules. That's what we're gonna do.
If Garmin or Lawrence or Humminbird
calls in and says, there goes our grant. Yeah, there goes our check. You're not getting our check.
They're not going to do it.
No.
Dude, they can't afford to. Like I said,
we don't know what they can and can't afford. But
I would just assume that since all those bigger sponsors are gone, like from the past, that it would be hard to do.
I can't see them doing it. I could maybe see some limitations, but there's going to have to be some concessions made both by the organizations to appease the electronic companies that A, sponsor, and B, have invested so much time and money into developing this technology. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts. I'm going to go back to the Facebook comments. Some of the Facebook comments I saw on some of these posts, whether it be Swindles or other guys or whatever, they'd be like, no, it's so boring to watch, but I love using it when I'm on the lake. And it's like, so don't you want to learn? Don't you want to see how the best of the best are using it? Anyway.
Well, what about this, though? One thought here. Let's take the professional organizations out of it. What about these team circuits and stuff? Big team circuits locally. Texas Team Trail Bass
They'll
Champ,
never limit
Alabama Bass Trail and at like Gunnersville and stuff. Brandon Belt Fishing.
They'll never limit it.
You don't think the local guys will see a push for it? You don't think the local guys will be?
No, because there's already look at that tournament that they're trying to have here, the no electronics one.
Mm-hmm.
How many's going to fish that?
I don't. Well, when is it?
I don't know.
Soon, right?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, bad time of year.
Yeah, bad time of year, and then he made a critical error in this. Do you see he's sectioning
what
off?
What are you talking about?
He's sectioning off the lake.
Okay, I didn't.
You can't fish the whole lake. Not only is he telling you can't use any bow electronics, you can only use a mapping unit at your console. So we're going straight old school fishing from your gut, from your innards. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to draw to where you fish.
But he's gonna tell you, but you got to stay in Veach.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about all that.
You just took away all of our electronics.
I mean, it's whatever. If it's a new tournament circuit, it can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think
there'll have some guys enter it for sure. I think.
Of course there will be.
I don't know.
And it's going to take 7 pounds to win it.
Do you see that coming from organizations having a separate tournament trail without electronics?
No, because they're not going to get any sponsor dollars. They're not going to get any support. Okay, let's just take more than.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with the people of this sport? Like, not in general,
what do you mean?
but like, are we a different kind of group?
I think we're a bunch of crybabies.
Because I don't see a lot of complaints about other sports and advancements to people's helmets or bats or clubs,
bats, cleats or golf clubs or whatever, or ice skates, whatever.
Is there something that I'm missing? Because I think the fishing industry, and what I've always thought since I was young when I got into this, is full of great people that is almost like a family, like close to the chest, family type industry.
Here's I got a thought on,
because I still think that's the way it is.
I think because I think we should be comparing this more to a hunting than we should be ball sports. I think it's more of like, it's an outdoors sport, and it's more of like a purist thing. It's more like you're taking the purity out of the sport by introducing technology to it.
That's a lot better way to look at it.
Maybe that's why they're so upset. But like, what about a scope on a rifle? Mr. Birch and I were talking about this earlier.
Really?
He brought this up. He said, "What about a scope on a rifle?" He said, "Think about it. It's like having a scope on a rifle."
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Let's go back to no scopes. Iron sights. Line her up. Or
because I would just mention that because I still think that the majority of the industry is still, because it kind of has to be like that, because we all kind of support each other.
Yeah.
So it kind of has to be like almost like a close knit. Like, it's not that big. Like, the industry's not really huge. You know what I mean? Like, fishing in general, yes. I'm talking about like competitive fishing. Like, it's really easy to make a really good or bad name for yourself because of how small it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I still think it's full of the good and the right people, and I still, like, that's still what I think. But I think, I don't know, it's just like something's changed with the attitude towards the sport.
Social media.
You're right. Social media has definitely changed.
Keyboard warriors. Social media. People.
You think a lot of the maybe the negative stuff comes from people that really don't even
know.
May not have any skin in the game.
Probably never even used it. I bet a lot of people said it's boring, have never used it.
So maybe some of the votes or count is kind of not really.
Look at when the Opens. Remember when the Opens said you got to fish all 9 last year, and there was a bunch of guys on there like, oh, you're taking the working man out of it, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
How many of those people have never signed up for an Open, regionally or nationally? You know, so what I'm saying is, I guess the point I'm trying to make is, I think it's social media is allowing people to voice opinions. And unfortunately, maybe some of those opinions are a little uneducated. You know, they're just...
That's a good point, yeah.
They haven't used the technology. They don't have any experience with it. They don't, I don't know.
I think some people's opinion
That's just a thought.
Will forever be, well, it's just boring. I don't care
it's
about
also,
it's just boring.
It's also, human nature is, when you form an opinion, you're going to stick to that.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard. Like, how many people you actually know, like, oh, man, I actually thought about what you said, and you're right. I was wrong.
Yeah. Well,
that doesn't happen.
Dude, I will say I've gotten so much better about that. Like, being open-minded. And
it's hard.
Because you got to.
You got to work on that.
You do, but it is a good thing.
But I mean, I don't think that's human nature to kind of stick, like, kind of bury your feet in the sand when you make a call like that.
When I was an umpire at one point for a little league.
What?
Yeah, I was an umpire.
Who let you around children?
Listen, I was an umpire. I was an umpire for a little league. I forget what ages. Like, I think I did 10U and 12U or whatever. And one of the first rules they teach you as an umpire is, whatever decision you call, even if you know it's wrong, you have to stick by it.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, one time I called this kid out at second. Way safe, dude. But I called her out. I forget what it was. And I was like, crap. I know I'm wrong, but I got to stick. Yeah.
Dude. And that's why you got fired.
Maybe it's kind of like that.
That's why you got fired.
Because it's like, hey, I just made this Facebook comment, and now it's there for anybody to see. How can I go back?
There. It's out there in the metaverse.
Yeah.
You can't take it back.
Maybe.
You have to do that. You're forever that way.
I actually
it's like the same in politics. Politicians are the exact same way.
They are. No, actually, they change their mind all the time.
Wherever the money goes.
I almost threw somebody out of a game one time I was umpiring.
I don't got to hear about this, but I don't think anybody else really cares. I want to know how to...
Just quick on that story. It happened to be the commissioner of the league that I warned that I was about to throw out. So,
how old were the kids?
About 10 or 12U.
And you're talking about them, man.
Yeah. Well, somebody kept chirping behind me, and I said, I gave him a warning, and then she said, do you know who I am? And I said, I don't care. And she said, I'm the commissioner of this league. I said, I'll still throw you out.
Good for you.
I said, I'm the umpire of this field.
Then you know better.
Yeah.
This is my field.
Side story, but that is pretty funny.
Yeah. No, man, I think we made some good points.
Yeah, we just want everybody to get along, man.
Look, everybody has the opportunity to have this. If it gets pulled, I'll still fish. It's not going anywhere, though.
No, it ain't getting pulled. So.
No, I'm going to fish. Matter of fact, I got to go pick up my boat. It's done rigged.
All garments. He's got 4 live scopes. He's got 4 live scopes. He's got 2 of them hanging off his poles. His power poles in the back.
No, man, I went with that saltwater one. You can see like 9,000 feet in front of you. It's going to fry the fish.
Hey, real quick before we get done.
That's not true. I went to
real quick before we get done with this. Why has nobody made a ruckus about Aquaview?
Oh.
Nobody.
What? I didn't even realize that was legal until...
Dude, nobody said a word.
Dude, I was talking to Daryl, and he's like, you got one of those Aquaview cameras? I was like, no. Are those things legal to use in tournaments?
Big deal at smallmouth.
Yeah. He's like, dude, you better bring one up here. I was like, that's ridiculous. You can have a camera?
A real camera.
A real camera.
I don't even think it's like, I think they're...
That's silly.
I think it'd be hard to use.
Is that the future of live scope? An actual camera?
I don't think so. I think if anything, they'll just make like live more and more crisp, more and more clear. I don't think anything will be like.
I already told you what my thoughts are about the future. I don't think we're far from it.
What's the future?
Tracking.
What do you mean tracking?
I think you'll be able to look at your live scope and see a fish that you want to catch, touch the screen, and your trolling motor and your unit.
You step back, and now your trolling motor stays on.
All you got to do is cast, and it stays on it.
Holy crap.
Target lock.
That might be something.
Telling you. I'm telling you. Look at drones. Drones, you can launch a drone in the air and tell it to follow you while you're driving your boat.
Facebook would literally crash.
The technology is there. It's just not being applied
you
to the marine
would crash
industry.
all social media platforms.
I'm about to get a call from Gar and be like, don't delete it. Don't post that. How did you know?
You'll crash social media.
Telling you. That's the future. And I don't think we're far from it. That's got to be the next step.
Well,
anyway,
I can tell you this: whatever's next, if I'm still a part of the sport and I still want to be competitive, I'm just going to work hard to learn whatever comes.
Man, it's what I did when it first came out. I was like, "Oh,
how long are we into this episode?"
We're 40 minutes.
Oh
no! No. Hold on for a minute.
We might.
They're
getting everybody's opinions, aren't they?
Keep the folks entertained while I rudely text our special guest.
Guys, we could just cut this and just come back.
A two-parter again?
I don't know if this would be a two-parter.
Or do you want to jump on? How much time do I got? I got to pick up my boat in like an hour. I got 40 minutes.
Well, how much? What you want to cut? We can just cut straight to this to talking to him on the phone.
Let's see what he says. I just said, are you in the mood to jump on for 15? I know we won't get this done in 15 minutes, but.
Yeah, we will.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I bet you they're calling around getting everybody's opinions.
There's some rumblings going on.
This is not good.
I'm not going to disclose what is on my phone. Haha.
Well, we got to cut this part anyway, save time from the episode. No way we can leave this in there. What's the word?
We're calling them right now.
You want to cut? We're going to cut this part. We've been standing around like idiots for 5 minutes.
We're building up anticipation.
No, this is dumb. We're cutting this part.
No, I'm not going to cut it.
Dude,
I'm in charge. I do the editing. It's terrible, but I do the editing.
You got to cut this. Look, we're fixing.
It was 60 seconds.
We're fixing to have.
Nope, here it goes.
You ready?
Yeah, we're calling.
You're calling right now?
Yeah.
Fixing to have a guest on, guys, to get a little opinion in here.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Just driving. What you up to?
Oh, why not? I just started to kind of start without you. We didn't know if I figured something happened. You jumped on a call or whatever, but we've been talking to each other for about the last 45 minutes on it. We're glad you came in to kind of salvage the episode because
we don't.
It's going to be boring.
Nobody cares about our opinion.
Nobody cares about our opinion. So
I got you.
Well, man, a man that needs no introduction, Lee Livesey.
Sure.
Got him on the phone.
Lee Livesey, boys.
So
what's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Well, we're making it. We were just this whole this whole forward facing sonar thing is kind of what we described at the or discussed at the beginning of the episode is just caught a fire again. Just when you thought that it kind of just went away and it was just another thing. Now it just kind of like the fire arose again and it's taken off again and. We're just kind of talking about the reasons why, like why all of a sudden again is this coming back up, and we kind of gave some of our opinions on it, but we want to talk to somebody like yourself, who's really like I feel like you're a really good person to talk to. Just one, obviously, you're a really successful angler on the Elite Series, but two, you're not a guy that really depends on it by any means. You can catch them with it or without it. So I think you're one of the better guys to talk to about it because you can use it when you need to, but definitely don't depend on it. So. Your opinion on this may be one of the better ones we could get.
Right. right. And obviously, that's the hot topic right now is forward-facing sonar pros and cons, and whether we should ban it or not, or whoever should ban it, whoever that is. But I'll just jump right in. No need to talk about it any more than you already have. So I don't like using it, like you said, or I don't like using it. I know when I have to use it. I know where I have to use it. Like this northern swing, we had St. Clair, Champlain, and St. Lawrence. I think I weighed every single fish in on it, but maybe 3 or 4 out of all those days at each event. Every one this event but one, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Every one but one, for sure, at Champlain. And every one for sure at St. Clair but one. Maybe 2 at Champlain. St. Clair.
Right.
So, and that's with me using it 95% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
I caught a big largemouth at Champlain and a big largemouth at St. Lawrence when I came in just before check-in, and I got one on a big swim bait at St. Clair, just random the second day. So, I use them when I have to, is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a forward-facing sonar hater at all. I love the technology, love the crappie fish. I love to use it. I just spent 4 more days on the St. Lawrence River, Monday through today, fun fishing and filming. Did some film on Mossy Oak, Bass University, and had some fun fishing trips with my buddy Clay Powell from Texas Flood. And that's all we did was use it because it's fun and it allows you to catch a lot of fish, quick, big ones, especially with the smallmouth game. So I'm not a hater of forward-facing sonar, but I don't think it's good for our sport. And I know it's going to go both ways with the audience. And I've talked to everybody from Davey Heights and my buddies that use it only, to buddies like Patrick that win with it quite a bit. And I did. So here's when it hit me. I missed the cut of the St. Lawrence River. I had a terrible day one of mechanical problems and mental problems too. It wasn't just mechanical, it was my bad too. So I missed the cut. So I did Bassmaster Live mix 2 days in a row. And I sat there on Bass Live mix. And I usually talk a lot and enjoy it and whatever. I'm myself. I sat there looking at the back of whatever angler it was. Nothing against whatever angler it was. I sat there and watched them forward-facing sonar with their rod in their hand for like 10 minutes. Nobody made a cast. Stared at their back. Nobody said a word. And like the other anglers that were on live with me, whoever it was, Caleb or Logan or Jay or somebody, and they're sitting there talking, and I'm like zoned out because I'm starting to get mad about what I'm watching. And as a fan, because I like watching it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me as a fan. I'm already cut. I don't matter anymore in the tournament. I'm sitting there going, thinking in my own head. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just thinking this is stupid what I'm watching right now. Like I've been watching the guy for, and it might not have been 10 minutes. It might have been 4 minutes. It might have been 14 minutes. I don't know. But I watched an angler troll around with the commentators talking about nothing, and he didn't make a cast. He didn't say a word on the TV. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this is stupid. As a fan, I don't want to watch this right now. I wanted to get up from the table, doing live mix, and walk on. And I don't know why it pissed me off, but this is a true story. That's when it kind of hit me. And I can only imagine a fan of the sport at home, whether it's one of y'all two, or my mom, or Mike Martin, my beer guy, or whoever. Watching that, it's not fun. And now there's going to be a huge number of people out there on the other fence saying, I love watching it. It's technology improving the sport, improving how we catch fish. And I got into that argument. Jake McDonald's, one of our cameramen, the Bassmaster, he loves it. And I talked to him about it last night. And he's for it. And thinks it's awesome. And he gets to film it and watch it firsthand. And you know, it is cool when you're sitting there firsthand watching the screen, watching the bait, watching guys catch them. But it wasn't fun. A little bit that I watched Bass by watching it. And I just feel like personally it's going to detour our fan base as a brand. And I had multiple people out there, friends that are really good fishermen, friends that are really big Bassmaster fans, friends that are really good live scopers, and then random people out there in the internet world that message me for no reason, which is fine. But what I'm getting at is they all have the same message. This is stupid. I don't want to watch it. Y'all need to ban listen.
Wow.
I'm not talking about 2 people. I'm not talking about 10 people. I'm talking about a shitload of people.
Yeah.
The same message. I mean, buddy's on Lanier. My buddy Jimmy, that's all he does is live scope. And he catches big spots and wins tournaments, and he's good with it. But him as a fan, he doesn't want to watch it. Just like I didn't want to watch it the 4 minutes I watched whoever's back. And that's why I'm against it. It's not that I'm getting my butt whipped because I'm still cutting checks with it and still doing good with it when I have to, when I want to. It's not that I think it's killing the population or spotlighting these deer and we're killing all the giant bass. It's not that at all. It's not any of that. I like using it. Like I said, I just used it 4 days in a row win fishing.
Yep.
As the sport, as a fan of Bassmaster myself, if we wouldn't have had it at Champlain. So at Champlain, here's another example. Cut my own self off. I literally caught a 4.5 pounder at Champlain, 15 foot down, over 70 foot of water. And I got it, put it in the boat, put it in the live well, got my arm back on my hip and started looking again. And it hit me there. I turned around to my marshal and I said, "This is stupid." And he was like, "What?" You know? I said, "This isn't fishing. This is not a sport fishing. This is not sport fishing. This is." He's like, "Dude, you just got a 4.5 pounder." I said, "Yeah, but it's not fun. I don't want to do this. Like, I have to do it because if I don't, I'm gonna get my butt whooped in this scenario." With what was going on with the police fish. And it wasn't, but I have to do it, and I know I have to do it, and I'll do it as long as I have it and can do it. But getting back to what I was saying, that was another time it hit me before the one I told you about, was that right there. If we didn't have it at Champlain, you would have seen, and I'm just naming random names, you would have seen myself, you would have seen Greg Hackney, you would have seen Jason Christie, swimming a jig, frogging, punching, throwing a spook for smallmouth, throwing a chatterbait, stuff that I want to see as an angler, stuff that y'all want to see as an angler. I want to see Greg Hackney go up as a breed and smash him, punch a 2-ounce weight, and I want to see Jason Christie, swim a jig, smash him on outside billboard, whatever it is. 65-pound braid, big rods. I want to see him talk and yell and boat flip, and I want to see grass go flying everywhere. I don't want to see Patrick Walters is my buddy, but I don't want to see Patrick Walters back for 7 hours looking at a screen, never saying a word to me, throwing a drop shot out there. And dude, it's awesome. It's fun when you get to do it. Don't get me wrong, but that's where I'm at in the sport of bass fishing. I don't think it's good for our fan base. And that's the only reason I don't think.
Do you think if live were to evolve to make it, is there a place for live to evolve to make it more entertaining for the people, whether that's linking units to where the viewer can see what the angler's seeing? And I agree with you. Matter of fact, I mentioned earlier in the episode, I said it is kind of boring and it's not very entertaining watching somebody not talk to you, not engage with the viewer. And I get it. They're fishing a tournament. They're not worried about the camera or the viewers. But do you think there's a place for Bass or any organization to evolve their live coverage to make it more entertaining with that technology?
I don't think it makes up any ground. Is it better? Yes, 100%. The little bit we saw at the Classic made it better for a terrible broadcast of the tournament because where we were. Will it make it better? Yes. Will it make it any better than we need? No.
I don't know. So is and obviously you don't have to give any details about conversations you've had with organization, but is eliminating forward-facing sonar a real option?
100%, I believe it is. I mean, we banned Alabama rigs, we banned Aquamuse in the tournament, we banned a double flip rig. An Alabama rig, umbrella rig, is just a tool that is very niche on being dominant. So,
yep.
I don't see there being a difference in live scope, which is, spotlighting bass is what everybody's calling it right now. That's not my wording, but that is as dominant as it is in the sport from 2 foot of water to 200 foot of water. So I definitely see it being a viable option because we banned stuff like the umbrella rigs in the past.
Yeah.
Not saying it will or won't. I think personally one of the leagues will, whether it's Major League Fishing or Bassmaster. I think one of them will, and I think whichever one does, they will steal some of the fan base.
Interesting.
I didn't think about it from that point of view.
If I see somebody frogging and flipping and punching reeds or throwing a spinner bait or whatever, compared to somebody with their hand on their hip, not making a cast for 10 minutes,
yeah,
I'm going to watch the other one. I don't care who it is, NPFL, Major League Fishing, Bassmaster, whoever it is, that's the one I'm going to want to watch. That's just me being a fan of fishing.
Yeah. And we mentioned that. We mentioned that before you got on. I mentioned that, that event they had at Saginaw Bay where some of the guys were catching them shallow. That was a little more entertaining than watching some of the live scope. I think a lot of the stuff that me and Shane talked about was from a competitive and angler standpoint. Like, we talked a lot about before you got on how from a competitive and, being in the tournament aspect of it, you got it. You pretty much have no choice but to get good with it, especially at certain places or you're going to get left behind. But you talking about it from a fan aspect, definitely see what you're coming from on that as well. But we were thinking of ways to make it, more entertaining, like which Shane's already alluded to you and asked you about having the what they're looking at on their screen up on the live screen. Man, I don't know. It's just a weird spot in the sport right now with this, honestly.
Yeah. I'm curious what the companies, Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird, will say if an organization chooses to take a stance against the technology.
Yeah, and obviously I can't answer for any of the brands.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, they don't run anything. They don't run Bassmaster. They don't run Major League Fishing. Are they a sponsor of each one? Yes. Are they a deal maker or breaker for either one? No.
Mm-hmm.
Will they still support them? Yes. That's none of my business and won't be, so I can't talk on that, but I do know that I think both organizations are definitely looking into it right now. It's not just chit chatter on the internet. It's a real deal. Whether it happens or not, I don't know if it did.
Yeah.
That won't be my decision.
No, I think that's good. I think it's good that they're looking at it, to keep both anglers and the fan base happy, rather than saying, no, we don't care. We're all about the sponsor dollars or whatever, even if it's not going to affect it, like you said. That's good. I'm happy to hear that they're
my opinion before you got on here, I was thinking, I guess I thought that those sponsors were a bigger deal than what they may actually be to these organizations. So I thought, from my point of view, I was thinking I highly doubt or don't see forward-facing sonar being taken away. They might make a rule where they only allow you to have one transducer on the boat or something of that nature, but I didn't see them taken away completely, but I could be totally wrong. But that was kind of my thought process before. I thought maybe what I was saying was that Bassmaster MLF, if they made a rule like that, limiting transducers, it was a way to maybe please somewhat or make it look like or act like they are doing something about it and please the fans and hopefully not totally piss off all the anglers.
Well, one transducer does nothing to
I know.
anything. It's still the same show exactly. So that solves nothing. I mean, is it different for Coyo and nothing against Coyo to go out there with $50,000 worth of transducers pointing every way I've ever in compared to Red Clun going to spinner bed at the bank? Well, yeah, obviously there's a disadvantage of that at Lake St. Clair and Champlain, but that's two totally different stories. I think there's no difference in one and five or whatever these guys are running.
Yeah.
So
no, I totally agree with you, and that's what I said. I said that, but it was just a way for the organization to do something. Do something.
And that's being talked about too, for sure. Is just limited it to one, but in my eyes, that resolves nothing at all. It either whatever you want to put on your boat or neither. Or nothing.
Well, man, those are all great points.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's well, it's good to hear that these are real conversations, not just internet chatter. But man, I don't want to take up any more of your time because I know you're driving home, and I really appreciate you jumping on last minute. I think your opinion is far more valuable than ours. So
yeah.
I appreciate it. If y'all need anything from me, just let me know, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
You bet, man. Well, safe travels, and congrats on qualifying for the Classic.
All right, thanks, guys.
All
See
right.
you later.
See you, man. Bye. Interesting points.
I think for the most part, we talked a lot about it from the competitive and the angler side of it. He was definitely more of looking at it from the fan side of it. So I
mean, that's the conversation sounds like they're being had is.
Yep. Man, it's just hard. I'm not saying these organizations aren't having these talks, but it is hard to believe that they would pan that. It just seems like it would take
We're going to find out.
I know we're going to find out either way. Either way it is or it isn't, but I'll be honest.
You talk about a bombshell, dude. There's going to be guys bail. There's going to be guys switch organizations. It's going to be super interesting. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. Like I said in the beginning, I'm fishing either way. Mm-hmm. Do I enjoy using forward face sonar? Absolutely. Will I fish when it's gone? If it ever goes away? Sure.
I think back to some of the stuff we were saying in the beginning, man. It's like maybe from the fan aspect, it's true. Well, I did say that it was probably from the majority of those guys that were unhappy on some of these votes, like they're generally unhappy. But I still think from a lot of the comments that if you did put that screen up of what they're looking at, it would at least solve some of the negativity.
Yeah, I think there's a way to make it more entertaining. I guess I struggle with seeing it going away, man. I do
too. I really do. Gosh dang it.
We got fires around here, man. Everybody's calling me.
I struggle seeing it going away as well, but you know what? Sounds like it's being talked about.
On a very serious level.
Yep.
It sounds like it's being talked about. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't see a world where the highest level doesn't have it and all the amateurs do. You know what I mean?
Well, that still kind of happens with Alabama rigs.
Yeah, an Alabama rig's a totally different thing, though.
I know it is, but it's still not.
I mean, I understand the comparison a little bit, but an Alabama rig, I think the reason it was banned is maybe the unfair advantage levels, as far as people just able to chunk and wind a rig. But my understanding of an A rig being banned is because the 5 hooks. Like when we've all caught fish on an Alabama rig. You catch one fish on, it's got 4 hooks in it. It's 2 in its side, 2 in its face. I mean, like I think it's more of a conservation thing, not so much. Yes, it's a little bit. It makes an average angler better.
I'm thinking back to the beginning of the episode where we talked about like.
I gotta wrap this up.
I was just thinking back to the beginning of our episode, thinking about our opinions on it. I don't know if we were necessarily looking at talking about it more.
No, we weren't. We were looking at it from our selfish standpoint.
No, competitive angling point of view than a fan point of view.
Yeah, but we are also fans. Like you said, we're fans. We watch it. I just think live's kind of boring in general. I mean, yeah, like I said, boat flip, when Christie freaking set the hook on that fish and it was 50 yards in the pads and he's winching this 7+ pounder through the pads and it's flopping all over the place and he goes to boat flip. Like that was highly entertaining. But you're talking a 10-second clip out of an 8-hour day. Watching live for 7-8 hours is kind of boring unless you're just really, really into the sport. Another way to make it less boring, fantasy fishing. Like, I like fantasy fishing. Makes it entertaining. Watching my guys.
That's true.
Anyway, I think they're going to come up with ways to make live more entertaining. My personal opinion, I don't see them going full-on ban forward-facing sonar.
But it is in the talks, and I guess it could happen.
Woo! Dude, to blow the lid off this thing.
Well.
It'll blow the lid off. We're going to find out, I guess.
Till next time.
All right. Till next time.